All power and glory go to God. All greatness is from God. When a hero stumbles, well, the cowards rejoice. Nothing feels better to a coward than to watch a brave guy fall. Now, you guys might have seen in the news that I caught coronavirus recently, and then I did. Whoops. I did. Because in the beginning of the pandemic, I talked to a guy in the live entertainment business, and I said, when can we go back to work? He said, probably sometime in 2022. And I said, there's no fucking way I can wait that long. And I just tried to find a way that I could work. You see what we've been doing. All of you who had to endure this invasive test and wear these masks just so we could be out and hang out and be together. I tried. And after all these months, after doing all these shows, God damn it, my number was up, and then I had the Rona. Oh. Cowards rejoice at a time like this because they're so invested in being afraid. And when I said I had the coronavirus, the overwhelming majority of people wished me well. Said, we hope you get better, take care of yourself. We don't want anything bad to happen to you. But there was a faction of people, the cowards, who said, you see that, Dave Chappelle? That's why we stay inside where it's safe, and we never try anything. Well, enjoy yourselves, motherfuckers, because I'm better now. Years ago, a man named Edward Snowden came to notoriety. Do you remember him? Edward Snowden was a whistleblower. How people feel about him is a split decision. Is he good or is he bad? Was he right or was he wrong? I don't know. What he did was he detailed a government program where our government, the United States government, was spying on its own citizens. And when he did that, people didn't really care. If you remember at that time, we were prosecuting a war on terror, and my God, what if these terrorists are living amongst us? We have to do something if they spy on some of us. I mean, who has anything to hide? Remember that. Years later, after Michael Brown got killed and riots broke out in American cities and Ferguson and all these places, you heard black Americans saying they're militarizing our police departments, and no one cared. Because the unrest was so uncomfortable and so daunting, and, well, these Negroes look so angry. Nobody said anything. Remember that. On January 6th, well, American citizens stormed the Capitol. You know, I'm from Washington, D.C. A lot of my friends growing up are Capitol Hill police officers. I said, what did you do that day? What did we do? We were kicking crackers down the steps like motherfucking 300, nigga. Trying to save our country. Watch the tapes. Watch that crowd that told Colin Kaepernick he can't kneel during a football game, try to beat a police officer to death with an American flag. Look at that shit. Take that nigga lesson. Take this nigga lesson. What was Edward Snowden talking about? Who is the terrorist now that they're looking for? It's you, not me. Not my black Muslim ass, it's you. Who are they militarizing the police for? They didn't call the National Guard on my black ass. It's you. That's what white people did. They felt what black people have been feeling for 400 years. For 30 minutes, stormed the Capitol and rubbed their shit on the walls. They carried a fucking Confederate flag through the rotunda. The Confederate Army didn't even do that. Motherfuckers, you went very far. There was a simple question, do you have a country or not? And you said no. My God, man, we're in quite the pickle, aren't we? If you could solve a black American's problems, this country would have no problems. You're so busy talking about pronouns and this, that, and the other, but this is a very basic wrong. They kidnapped us. They brought us here. They treated us like shit, and all the time that they did that, they were afraid that we would do what you would do in the same situation. But did we storm the halls of the Capitol and rub our shit on the walls? Well, of course not. If that would have worked, we would have tried it. I know how to solve my problems. You need to know how to solve your problems. You need to know where your power lies. You are Americans, so your power lies in each other. A few weeks ago, I put a special out. I called it Unforgiven. I told people what my beef was with Comedy Central. I never talked about it. I demanded that the network pay me. Many of my peers laughed at me because that's a ridiculous thing to demand. They said, well, you signed the contract, so what are you even mad about? Here's the thing. I'm very good at minding my own business. And the trick to minding your own business is knowing what is your business. And these people that talk about me, these cowards that rejoice, well, they don't understand what greatness looks like. I never asked Comedy Central for anything. If you remember, I said, I'm going to my real boss, and I came to you because I know where my power lies. I asked you to stop watching the show, and thank God Almighty for you, you did. You made that show worthless because without your eyes, it's nothing. And when you stopped watching it, they called me, and I got my name back, and I got my license back, and I got my show back, and they paid me millions of dollars. Thank you very much. When I took 12 years off and you put me right back on top when I came back, I couldn't thank you enough. You have kept me free. I have not had to do what so many of my colleagues have to do because of you. I have no idea what dicks taste like. This is a very important moment. I want to thank Ted Sarandos at Netflix, a CEO who had the courage to take my show off its platform at financial detriment to his company just because I asked him. And I want to thank Chris McCarthy of CBS Viacom. This guy is younger than me, and like most people younger than me, has an interest in making the past right, and did something that was very courageous. And finally, after all these years, I can finally say to Comedy Central, it's been a pleasure doing business with you. Cheers to you forever. I'm rocking with you till the wheels fall off. Thank you very much, and good night. Dave Chappelle!
When I've seen your work, I've never seen anyone better. I've just never seen anybody better.
The worst thing that can happen to you in your mind when you're working out is that you'll lose it all or you'll blow it. But once you face that, it's not everything. Have you ever worked all your life for something and have it not work out? That happened to me. It was tough. Think about it. I was gone for 12 years. It's not a little bit of time. It was hell. I watched other niggas that I knew become very famous. I watched the world go on without me. I mourned the loss of it. And after a while, I didn't care. on the side of excess. And there's instances where you go too far. You're playing with powerful shit, doing jokes about racism and this ism and that ism. I respect everybody's beliefs except Amish people. Because they are the only ones that I can say clearly their God is wrong. The speed limit is 75 miles an hour in Ohio, and one lane of traffic is blocked by a goddamn horse and buggy. Nigga, your God is ridiculous. The attempts at these jokes, they're like Evel Knievel tricks. I hope to land them, but...
Yeah.
I actually write jokes backwards. I will write a punchline with no particular setup in mind. I just put it on a scrap of paper, and I'll throw that scrap of paper in my fishbowl. I have a fishbowl in my house filled with random punchlines. And every once in a while, I'll shake the bowl, and I'll dig in there and just pull one out and see if I can make that shit work. Any job that makes you depend on the approval of others for your livelihood, it's a crazy job. You know, normally when you do a comedy show, you guys don't know what it looks like up here, but niggas be looking up at you like... That's how the show started. It didn't take long for the faces to switch up, like, what the fuck? I started looking amongst themselves. So I knew I wasn't doing good. I don't remember what I was saying. So much of the work of art is on the viewer to an interpreter. The sermon is on them. More than ever, they gotta do their own work. It's a black lady with a Ford Motor shirt on. Stood up suddenly. Fuck you, Dave Chappelle. I said, excuse me? You will never get your fucking money back. It's easy for me to do things if I've seen them before. Because of your show, many of the things I learned to do, I saw them somewhere. This might be the noblest of professions. Robin Williams had a bar that I loved. He said comedy is the only job you can have where you can use everything you know. And that's true. You can use more than you know. If you use what you think, use it. Don't be afraid. Don't let these bitch-ass niggas button your lip. Say it anyway.
They say you shouldn't be intoxicated around your children. Well, I'm not. I'm high. I call it elevated. It's a different thing.
What has happened, unfortunately, is that since Y2K, I've just been melting. I've been melting my brain by pot. I know, like, a brain is supposed to be like, like that, like have like mass and volume. My brain is more like a crepe that has been rolled by someone who isn't French and is not committed to the cuisine, and then and then inside of the crepe is just one like naked wiggling worm that's like getting really tired and like doesn't know how it ended up there in like that bad sleeping bag, and it's just like, oh, mother. And then I imagine my brain like the bathhouse in Spirited Away, like like it's like a thought comes in or like something to discuss, and it's like a token that pops down in front of the worm's face, and the worm's like, modern art? Oh shit, man. And then in life I'm like, Jackson Pollock put jizz on his paintings. Jackson Pollock, starring Ed Harris, put jizz on paintings. And then someone's like, get out of the Guggenheim! And I'm like, Guggenheim? I thought this was the aquarium. You guys fucked yourself by calling them your museum the Goo 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 Goo. That museum is fun because you're like, whoa!
I think the most high I've ever been in public is a tie for first place. Okay, there's the first time I did MDMA, Molly, and the other time was when I went and saw the Tupac hologram at Coachella. So the first time I did Molly, it was like 10 years ago. I went to this comedy festival, And I bought a bunch of those little Molly pills, and I went to see a comedy show, and I was with my buddy Carl. I gave him a pill, I took a pill, and we felt like $1 million, right? Serotonin machine gun going off in my brain. And I felt so good that I turned to my friend and I go, dude, if we eat like 4 or 5 more of these little guys, we'll feel 4 or 5 times as good, my man. That's basic math, bro. So we fucking wolfed down a bunch more. What a fucking mistake. Because then my eyeballs started working independently like a chameleon. I was like, like David Attenborough from Planet Earth started narrating my thoughts. Like, this asshole has taken more drugs than he can handle. And now his heart will do a Slipknot drum solo. My eyes were doing like Diplo air horn sound. So I fucking panicked. I ran outside. My heart's beating out of my chest, right? And I'm like, I'm gonna have to go to the fucking hospital. I'm having a meltdown. And I go, no, I got it. I'll make myself throw up. Or we call it pulling the trigger. You know what I mean? Or at least that's what we called it in ballet class. I don't know what you guys call it, but. So I run outside, and I'm fucking slamming my finger in the back of my throat. The problem was I had so much MDMA coursing through my veins, it wasn't making me throw up. It just felt like I was hitting a hidden G-spot in the back of my throat, and my uvula was like a giant clitoris. So I was just like, and I've never come harder in my entire life. First and only time I have ever achieved orgasm. Thank you. Okay, and then the Tupac hologram. All right, so check this out. So I go to Coachella, it's weekend 2. I'm fucking hyped to see this goddamn Tupac hologram. And it's so whack, but I'm like caught up. I'm like, oh yeah, I can't wait to see this like Grand Theft Auto 4 era CGI Tupac. So I was drinking all day. We're out in a big field. It's late at night. Thousands of people. We're all watching Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre on stage, right? And my friend Brian hands me like a big ass Xanax bar, right? Like a big fucking like a George Clinton horse pill, right? But Xanax, it's not a good party drug. It makes you black in and out of consciousness. You lose your memory. But I wasn't thinking. So I wolf it down, and I tell my friend Brian, I was like, okay, hold up. I'm gonna make a pee-pee. I go to the porta potties. I come back. My brain must have hit a Xanax black hole because my friend Brian was like, dude, where the fuck have you been? And I go, what are you talking about? He's like, bro, you've been gone for like 45 minutes. The Tupac hologram came and fucking went. You missed the entire fucking thing. And I've never been more mad and high at the same time. And I just turned around and I started ripping grass out of the ground and going, no! Why? And it was during the most mellow Snoop Dogg song of his entire set. So Snoop Dogg's on stage like S-N-O-O-P, Snoop-a-loop, Snoop, poop, poop-a-scoop, doop-a-doop-a-dee-doop. And one by one, a sea of 1,000 people just look back at me going, bury me alive! I don't deserve to live! Then I just overhear this dude rolling a blunt behind me, look back and go, well, I guess everybody enjoys Snoop Dogg differently.
Next thing I know, Snoop reaches under the desk and he pulls out the biggest blunt I have ever seen. Oh, this sucker was huge. As soon as he pulled out that freaking blunt, I got excited because I wanted to grab my cell phone, okay? I wanted to grab my cell phone so that I could take a selfie of Snoop in the background being Snoop. So while I'm fumbling, trying to get my phone, Snoop starts talking to me again. Yo, Big Fluff. Yeah, what? Hit that while I hit this. The second I went like that, all of the cameras in the room, red light, red light, red light, red light, red light. My publicist is like, no! My son is like, yeah! And now I'm being faced, bro, I'm being faced with a serious situation because, you know, I've talked about friends participating in doing stuff like this, but I've never openly talked about myself, you know. And now I realize that from this moment forward, people are gonna know what happened here with Snoop. So I started trying to find ways to justify it to myself. You know, if you're gonna do something like this on camera, you want it to be with Snoop. You want it to be with Snoop, Cheech and Chong, or Willie Nelson. Next thing I know, the manager hands me a lighter, I light it, and I take a big hit. So listen, I'm doing my best to hold in all this smoke because I don't want to look like a punk in front of Snoop Dogg. I'm trying, I'm fighting, bro. It's hard, you know. The whole time Snoop is like, hell yeah. That's what I'm saying. Fluffy going puffy today. I do not remember the rest of the interview.
I have kids and I lie to them. I get high around them too. People say you shouldn't do that, but they don't see it. They say you shouldn't be intoxicated around your children. Well, I'm not. I'm high. I call it elevated. It's a different thing. The people who have a problem with that, they don't understand what getting high is. Like, they think you're gonna be like to your kid, like, who are you? What do you think? What's the worst thing that can happen if I'm a little high around my kid? They're gonna get extra hugs and daddy's gonna be paranoid about objects. Oh, look out. Don't go there. That's it. Plus, I have cool conversations. I have a 6-year-old daughter, man. There's not a lot a 48-year-old man, a 6-year-old girl have in common, other than the fact she's my daughter. And so our conversations are normally pretty boring. But when I'm high, I'm like, you know, you call that thing your baby, your doll, you call it your baby, but you know it's not a baby, right? Yeah, I know it's not a baby. Do you call it a baby because you're the youngest and you like having someone who is responsible for you? Maybe. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Give me a hug. I love you. Mwah.
I see my age in my children. I came home from the road. This is not long ago. I've been gone for, if you can picture, I was gone for weeks and weeks. And when I came back, nobody was home. Now, one person in my family thought that maybe I'd like to see them when I got back. Like, they knew when I was coming back, but they just weren't home. And that shit was a wake-up call. You know, like when my kids were little and the tour bus would pull up to the house, these motherfuckers would spill out. Dad is home, hooray! And they'd hug me and kiss me, and then as the years went on, they'd get less interested. Hey, everybody, look, it's Mr. Promises back from the road. But an empty house, that's some cold shit. And I went into my oldest son's room. I was like, hello, hello. He was gone. And I'd never done this to him before, but for some reason I just did it. I just looked through his shit. Just to see who this motherfucker was becoming. And I found these notebooks and I started going through the notebooks and it was all this wonderful poetry in them. Written as his handwriting. I didn't even know this nigga wrote poems. And then I looked through his drawers and I opened up his middle drawer and I found this rolling paper. And I looked down at them papers like, oh, that's where that poetry's coming from. And that shit broke my heart. I mean, I smoked weed, but I mourned my son's innocence. And I cried a little bit. And I took his papers upstairs to my room. Rolled some weed that I'd hid from the family. And I got really high. And then I got paranoid, so I put his papers back how I found them. So he wouldn't know what I was up to. This nigga won't even know that that happened until he sees the special. Yeah, nigga, I found your papers. He's a cold motherfucker. Let me tell you, this kid is only 16 years old. Listen to what he did to me. This motherfucker calls me up in the middle of the night. It was 1 o'clock in the morning. He goes, Dad, don't be mad. I knew something was terribly wrong. I said, what's going on? He said, listen, I'm fine. And don't forget, you told me to do this. I'm at a party, and my designated driver had too much to drink. And me and my friends need you to come pick us up. I said, Jesus Christ, it's 1 o'clock in the morning, nigga. I am shit-faced. But I figured, fuck it, it's better me than some kid. I might as well roll the dice and go pick my nigga up. I said, all right, I'm coming to get you. Just give me the address and I'll be right there. And then he gave me the address and I was shocked. I said, son, you are not gonna believe this, but I'm at the same party, nigga.
Was this in line with the relationship you had with your father?
Absolutely. My father's main thing, he would never tell me what to do, which you got to think is a strange way to grow up. His thing was you have to be able to make decisions, which is a real counterintuitive way. And sometimes I used to think it was to my detriment, but the older I get, I understand why he raised me that way. He might help me sort through the pieces, but he wouldn't really put the puzzle together.
Did he tell you he loved you?
All the time.
All the time?
In fact, yeah, that's the thing in our family. I don't think I ever leave my children's presence without letting them know I love them. Because I never know what's going to happen anyway. Mm-hmm. So, you know, it's the most important thing, I think, for stability is you never see a kid who was abused with that kind of confidence or a kid who was neglected with that kind of confidence. Just sometimes knowing that somebody cares inspires you and empowers you to be courageous.
Do they know the comparison of their life now versus the majority of kids and the lives they lead?
What I did for a living, I don't think factored into their lives in a way that people might think. Because we don't live in Hollywood. There's no paparazzis trying to get their picture. You know, the community protects them in that sense. And the other thing was, for most of the time I've been out here, my career was going terrible, so who cared? I knew people who walked past the roll of toilet paper because they knew they had a roll at home. So it was on our shelves longer than it was in other places. So I'm trying to tell you, community is everything, and fostering trust amongst each other, that's everything. Whatever you guys argue about the specifics, we gotta trust that there'll be a livable level of decency.
A livable level of decency, that's nirvana right there. But I worry about just what's the world gonna be? You know, is it gonna be tanks in the street, for God's sakes? Is it a civil war again? What, you know, or am I thinking too much about this? Because you think that there will be a livable level of decency.
Well, I believe that God is in control, no matter what I worry about. That only my efforts are my own, and that the results have nothing to do with me. That I do what I think is best, but I just don't know what's best, because I'm just a guy. But I trust that this creation has a purpose. It proves that something perfect exists. We have to believe in something.
Right.
Otherwise, why would you continue?
But largely, the awareness that These things are out of my control. Do you find that comforting?
I do find it comforting. I can only do what I intend to do, you know. Being somebody that people would look to for like moral or intellectual guidance. It would require me to live a completely different way. There's no pension plan for leaders. Martin Luther King died penniless. Malcolm X died penniless. I don't want to do that.
But that's your view. I'm waiting for you to say something. So what does that make me, a follower?
Okay, well, I said it behind what many others were already doing. And the commentary after it was very heady and intellectual, and I was shocked that nobody ever talked about what it feels like to watch a man get murdered that way by a man in a police uniform.
I was thinking about this with regard to George Floyd. 55 years ago, April 1965, John Lewis and his friends, colleagues, are walking across the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, Alabama. And a cop with a nightstick, like batting practice, tees up and hits him in the side of the head, cracks his skull, and nearly kills him. Nearly kills him. He survives and devotes his life to this struggle. And toward the end of his life, almost simultaneously, George Floyd, who I don't know if he was ever an activist in any sense, is killed, murdered, lynched by an officer of the law. The comparison is just right there. They will both now be part of the culture going forward to repair what needs to be repaired.
What a tragic footnote to a tragic culture. This is a lot to unpack. You know, nights like this are, I think, important. Just talking about it. We're countrymen, all of us. We live in America. We all got our problems, our stripes. It's weird. It's weird now because this game of who suffered more, everyone keeps getting the ball. And they act like everyone's suffering is mutually exclusive from everyone else's. And you and I both know that's far from the case. You know, there's a lot of angles that you could approach this and look at this from and learn from each other from. But it's a thing, and I'm troubled about the volume of it. It doesn't sound like something that's settling or hurtling towards an easy resolution.
People say that what's going on is different now, therefore we predict real change. Do you have that feeling?
Well, I'm not making any predictions. Of course, I am very hopeful, yes, that there will be real change. And just traditionally, from my experience, change is never like a comfortable proposition. It's uncomfortable before it's comfortable again.
But don't worry, on account of if we happen to crash into the Pacific Ocean, the seat cushions are not only seat cushions, they are also boats. Yep, they're boats. All the time, you turn on a TV and the guy goes, well, a plane crashed in the Atlantic, but it's all right. Everybody, listen to the ladies, so they're all just on their boats. People are going, God damn, why did I buy that boat? I should have just got a fleet of seat cushions. I would have saved all kinds of money. I've noticed lately, everybody has an opinion. And when I was young, it wasn't that way, People would have maybe, 6 opinions, Sometimes you meet a guy, he'd have 8 opinions. You'd go, God damn, that guy's opinionated. But about 6 opinions, that'd be about, and most of them were about food, I would drop the mic, but I paid for it.
That was sweet, man.
Holy shit.
Tearjerker ending. Fuck.
Yep. I thought of 2 things. The first thing I thought of was I might owe Drew Michaels an apology because he made a special with no audience and I hated it. because I looked at it like a swimming meet with no water, or like like that's the whole thing. But this was very endearing. It was amazing. This.
The form is different. It's not, strictly speaking, stand-up. It's something else. And the great gift could have been to be in a room full of people when Norm did that for those people. Right. Because that would have evaluated, measured, and directed what he's talking about. And for us to sit here and look at it is not a true test of anything, really, other than we all love Norm. And my God, he's certainly prolific, certainly energetic, but we weren't watching stand-up comedy because it was impossible. But there's something there, for sure.
Oh, there's no question.
Yeah.
I also forget how poetic he is.
Yeah.
You know, with Norm, like, I didn't know him that well in the 90s. And then when my dad died, I had to do a movie with Norm. And I tried everything to get out of that movie because I was inconsolable. And I couldn't get out of it. And working with him was the greatest thing that ever happened to me. It was like he was the right guy at the right time. I was inconsolable.
Did he talk to you about your dad a lot? Or what did he do?
Never came up. He just made me laugh.
Yeah, right.
He just, and it was, wistful and musing. And Norm is, he never knew he was setting something up or not. We were just hanging out, and all of a sudden it'd be like this punchline out of nowhere. But it started to become like work was like a church I go to. Like I couldn't wait to get to work and just hang around this guy. And I knew he was special.
Yeah.
And I've known people for years and years that didn't make me laugh as much as he did in that 8 or 10 weeks. So he's like a real special person to me. And the way he's funny, I just never seen someone get at it like that.
The element that I always admired was the connection to the audience. And his asides and his looks and his pauses were interpreted exactly the way he knew they would be interpreted. And that fueled the ridiculous nature of some of the presentation. And without that audience, you don't get the full measure of Norm. Right. It was like the audience was his partner. Everybody was in this together with Norm.
I agree. I like the way he said it. The audience was his partner.
Yeah. That kind of felt like the gentle Norm that when you would sit and hang out after our shows on the road and we'd be on the bus with him and he'd still be being funny, he would kind of perform like that. Like he'd say his material to you, he'd kind of commit to it, but he just kept going and going and going and going. It looked like he was just like, I want to get everything out, everything I've been thinking about. Anyways,
he had I think best word choice of maybe any comedian I've ever seen. Yeah. He intentionally mispronounces words. When he knows how to say TV. He says it's the TV. He came on our show, I think it was his first appearance, and he was talking about a Doberman, and he said it's a Doberman. And he knows. But he's constantly screwing with you on every level.
Right.
But his word choice is, he was like Mark Twain. He had this folksy, completely out of time. And I don't know if he was born 300 years too late or 300 years too early, but he's talking in a way, no one speaks like that. And you really appreciate the way he says things. And
He
his
talks
timing.
like a 1930s Canadian dock worker.
Yeah.
Does it remind you a bit of Face in the Crowd, some of the early stuff, where he is just communicating from himself to a radio audience? That's what I thought of early on in this.
Yeah. It's funny because when the way I experienced him as you did, Dave, was, really on the talk show format. And later on, when I would look at the clips of him on my show, that I would think, I don't even know that I was there just laughing, but I was in no way, he's totally self-fueled. Yes, it's nice when you hear the audience there, but he's also, what he's doing is so absurd and ridiculous. And this was an exercise I couldn't do that if you just put a camera there and said, you've got 50 minutes and go. I would lose my train of thought, or I need other people there for me to find the next thing. he's completely, when I look at his appearances that he did with me, I think, I didn't need to be there. I mean, I'm glad I was there. I'm selfishly glad I was there. But
And you need a second to think. Like I don't know if he's got a set list or there's no really looking down. There's no bumbling. There's no thing. It was just kind of go, 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 go. I didn't see where that would be, and to remember all that.
It was the presentation, considering the circumstance, the presentation was robust, for God's sake.
Yeah.
I like the
Energetic.
messiness. I like the dog. I like
Well, the dog and a phone call.
And you were saying that, the guy without the audience, and this is just more, there was no choice. It's different when he just has to do it. The other guy picked not to have an audience.
That's absolutely right, but I didn't even think it was possible.
Yeah.
And I feel like he landed the trick.
Yeah.
His timing is like a drummer's. It's like a jazz drummer.
But what would the timing have been with an audience? Still perfect?
I can't tell. He's so nice with it. I feel like it looked like it was supposed to be that. I can't. It's hard to explain.
This is like listening to a good book on tape.
Yeah, it's really.
Yeah, that's good.
It reminds me of what I liked about him. He's a soothing person to be around.
Yeah, gentle.
There's something about my favorite comedy it's counterintuitive, makes people feel safe, like everything's going to be all right. This guy was, in a weird way, reconciling his mortality hilariously in front of us. And ironically, he's no longer with us. We're sitting in the aftermath of the life of Norm Macdonald, watching like him be incredibly alive.
But his circumstance, he nudged into it several times.
Right.
But didn't linger.
Yeah.
And to us, from this perspective, powerfully meaningful.
Oh, he definitely wanted to. I'm sorry, Molly.
No, you go, Adam.
I was just going to say he definitely wanted to make the point he loves his mom.
That's what I was going to say.
That's a
Because it was like a
tearjerker part.
moment where you just have this glimpse where he takes a pause and he's like, she's great.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah, absolutely.
It was so
He's talking a lot about, he's talking a lot about mortality. He's talking a lot about death. And obviously now that people, comics talk about that all the time, but it has this.
How would those have registered in front of a live audience, do you think?
Not one of the suckers' mother's tits would kill.
Oh, well, that would have murdered. He had a
went
bunch
all
of
the way
things that
around
would
the
have
barn
murdered.
for that.
Because, he went all the way. It's right. That's the right. He went all the way around the barn. He had this great way of making you. He'd plant the seed, walk all over the hill, around the silo, down to the brook. You've forgotten about it, and then he lands that again, and it's joyous. It's just joyous.
Yeah.
But this form makes me so appreciate. It's what I always knew, but his face, his eyes, and his eyebrows. I always said there's something almost like a jack-o'-lantern. He's got such a great, his expressions when he's talking about after someone's completed the act, when he becomes, what am I going to do now? I'm going to go down and have a cheese sandwich. He's such a terrific performer. I mean, he's really just got this, and he's telling the whole story like a great 1920s silent film comic.
When he smiled, I could picture him as a child.
Oh, yeah.
He was my senior, but he's got a boyish charm. When he laughs at his own jokes.
Him laughing is amazing.
There's something just joyful about watching it.
Does anybody know the length of time it would take him to compile an hour of material? Would that be 6 months,
he had
a year?
more material. We were on the road one time, and he would swap sets out of nowhere. He'd be like, I'm gonna try some. I don't know. He didn't even really talk about it. We'd say, "You doing this joke?" He'd be like, "Oh, I don't know
flip
about
a whole
that."
half out. Yeah,
he'd flip. Yeah, he one time in some conversations, he goes, "I got a good 8 hours now," or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, 8 hours.
Do you remember that Star Search bit he used to do? The scaffolding in the bit was always the same, but I'd never seen him do it the same twice. And he would just make up these crazy Star Search intros. Star Search. This next band's been kicking around the Miami area for the last 15 years. Give it up for overnight sensation, he'd say. And he would do that. Like he had a million of them. And I'd seen him do the bit a bunch of times, never the same. The lyric, the scaffolding was the same. The lyrics always changed.
He also had an infinite collection of old stories. I think probably from, rural Canada or traveling salesman stories. And I would be delighted because, he'd come out and I'd be laughing. It was the only person I can say this about. I'd be laughing before he did anything. He'd come out from behind the curtain and he's got those cheeks and those eyes. And I've looked at the tape. I'm just laughing. He hasn't done anything yet. And then Norm, how are you? He's like, bought a farm.
Yeah.
And I know immediately this is complete bullshit. And I'd say, the whole thing is a complete waste of everyone's time, and it's joyous because
he's reveling in it.
He's reveling in every second of it.
This wife Ruth that he was speaking of.
Nothing's real.
Yeah,
There's
Agnes at the desk.
Yeah.
I can remember reading his autobiography and enjoying it, but being greatly disappointed about 10 pages in when I realized it was all fantasy. I want to know about Norm's life, but this was other solar system.
We were on the road with it was Adam and Rob Schneider, Norm, and a bunch of us. And some nights he'd flip the whole set, but some nights he would do like the bomb set, and he would just walk people, and he would do it almost on purpose. So some nights he would just say, "This is the set you're getting," and
he
just see what happens.
This is courtesy of Jim Downey, who did Update with Norm. Said, it's the thing that stuns me is there's dress for Saturday Night Live and then there's air. And Norm would do his set for Update in front of the dress crowd. And it'd be certain jokes that got absolutely nothing. Now, a sketch can maybe do better on air than it did, but a joke, if it bombs at dress, in that format, it will bomb on air. It just will. So he had undisputed proof that his joke was going to bomb, but he liked the joke. And he'd turn to Downey and say, we're doing it. And Downey would say, oh, that's a great joke. Yeah, we're doing it. Now, that I like to do well. And if I'm handed absolute proof that I will fail, I will change course. Sure. I will admit it. I'm not that guy. There's something in him that's unbelievably fearless.
What you're describing there, when I would watch those segments, they were delightful. There was something more exciting and interesting about the silence and Norm's joy at having landed the dud
and holding a smile.
It was thrilling. It was heroic.
He was telling us, this is a good joke. And I'm sticking with it. And his eyes would just light up when he was getting nothing. And you got what I'm serving tonight. This is what we're serving at the restaurant.
Yes.
And this is what you're eating. And you're gonna, there you go. Yeah,
That's a perfect way to put it. It's like a master chef. What do you know? Fuck your taste buds.
It's a sushi restaurant where they go,
yeah,
you don't do California rolls here.
I just like that. Yeah, that guy is certain, and his sensibility. It's fun to watch.
You get more than a joke and a laugh. You get that tone. You get that attitude. There is that invisible connection. Yeah, we know what you're up to, Norm, and this is what we love.
It's like why rock and roll is cool. The swag of it, like she's just doing it. He's hip, bro. It was great.
He came on our show one time, your old studio, the late night show, and I went in just to say hi before the segment, and he's in the dressing room right outside the double doors, inconsolable, because he had bet on a big game that had just ended.
Oh, yeah.
I'm there to try and make sure that the guest is in a good mood.
Right.
We're going to have a good ramp up. And I remembered him, that's a lot of money. And I hear the band outside. It's going to be good time show business with a man that just lost $55,000. Who knows what he lost,
Recently destitute Norm Macdonald.
Exactly, yeah.
Did he give that up? Do we know?
I don't know.
I don't know 100%.
When it was him reading an excerpt from his book or his book on tape, where he describes his gambling addiction, so poetically.
Oh wow!
He talks about roulette.
Roulette.
Yeah. It's
how
a book on tape.
hopeful it is
Yeah.
to be he's addicted to the hope of it.
Mm-hmm. And there's no way you can talk about Norm and not, because we all know that gambling was, part of his life, and you can just, in his comedy, he's just always putting everything on 17 red or 35 red. It's like, that's amazing that it's really the same, the same thrill.
Yeah, you're right. That's interesting.
I'm not taking that,
I
have a funny Norm gambling one. So, and this is everything is true. So, because some of it doesn't make sense, but we lived in the same building. I went up to visit him in his room. We come up at his apartment. That was going into his apartment was bananas as it is. But we're having a nice time, and I say, "You got any soda?" And I open up his fridge, and I swear to God, $25,000 worth of chips. Atlantic City chips are in his fridge. And I go, "What's this?" He goes, "Oh, I won big. I won big on Friday." And I said, "Well, why did you cash it in, buddy?" He goes, "Well, I brought it here so I could talk to Bernie Brillstein to see how I don't have to pay taxes on it." So I go, "Oh," and he goes, yeah, so I gotta bring it back Monday. And he told me no matter what, I gotta pay taxes. So, it didn't work out there. So whatever, I go, "Oh, that sucks." So anyways, I see him at Saturday Night Live on Monday. I go, "Did you cash that in?" He goes, "I lost it all."
We go down the elevators, and they have limos for us for the SNL to go to the after party. So we get in them, and then Max, the guy, goes, "Oh yeah, Norm sometimes takes us to Atlantic City." So he just skips the party. They go right there. And on Monday, he comes back. He said the same thing. He goes, he keeps chips in his refrigerator because no one looks in the fridge if they're robbing him.
Oh,
that was another.
That's ingenious.
Better than the Bernie.
That's what I'm doing. That's fantastic. Wow.
Man, you guys are lucky to get to work with them that way.
Yeah.
There's a few people in my career that it's like why I go to the fights if I know Mayweather's fighting or something, because I know this guy is great and he's only got but so many fights in him. This guy.
I was gonna say I really liked him right away. I just saw him, I felt like I understood him a different way, and I felt like deep down he was actually very, very shy,
Oh, yeah.
Right, don't you
very
think?
Shy.
And sweet.
And so sweet.
Yeah, nice talked about your parents a lot. He loved his dad more than anything. He talked about his dad a lot. Loved his mom, his brother, his
deeply
his boy.
So sensitive. I was saying, so when you lost your dad, Dave, and you were talking about that, I'm sure he really was like wanting to make you feel so good and so sweet and thoughtful, and probably thought deeply about that's how he would approach it to kind of.
It seemed very thoughtful and wildly, disarmingly empathetic. It's very rare that I meet somebody in a professional situation that made me put my dukes down like that. Like defenseless again. Like, this guy doesn't have an ounce of judgment in him unless it's hilarious.
Yeah.
And Dave, when does that movie come out?
I remember when you did that movie. I remember that.
And the irony, I really did try to get out of it, but I couldn't imagine my life without having done it or getting to spend that time with him.
Do we know if he did any of this material in front of an audience?
We knew some from that tour. But that tour was right before Corona. I think it was about.
Remember the day before the lockdown, Norm had some set that went viral. It was a cookie jar dunk. I remember like me and my buddies in Ohio were all like, "Yo, did you see this Norm Macdonald set? It was on YouTube, probably still on there." He destroyed. And he even
right. At the Improv, when he talked about the pandemic.
It was a
incredible
cookie jar dunk. And you could tell it was off the rip. And it was all that, all the anxiety that the day before the whole world goes into lockdown.
Yeah.
And he was just on some fuck it. And it felt so good. Again, it made me feel like everything's going to be fine.
Well, if you were alive and were doing this show that we watched tonight somewhere in front of 200, 300, 400 people, killer, standing O, What would be their impact?
Well,
here?
yeah, the question to me is, I mean, he's touching on some third rail stuff, and it really depends on
Yeah, he didn't have to leave on a big laugh. So he would go on. Some of his shit would murder.
Yeah.
Some of his shit would eat it. Some people would be like get annoyed, upset that he said it, and then like most of us, you go, all right, let me get out of this fucking hole and come up with a big joke because I'm about to get off. He'd go, all right, let's keep going down and we'll get out on that.
I'm certain of this 25 minutes of this would kill.
Yeah.
Right.
Which would probably be about, with laughs, add water, 35, 38 minutes, easy.
You'd have notes. You'd have people saying,
Well, if you try to practice it, plus like cannibal stuff, or when he says it gets on red, I go, fuck, so close. But all those, there's some stuff that's for sure laugh lines that would work anywhere. And then he pulls you away from it for a while. And then and they're trickier stuff. It's trickier to figure it out. And he would lose some people.
It's hard to separate. I buy it. You know what I mean? Like I'm in.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's like watching a 4-hour movie set at a certain point. It's like I'm just invested in this as an experience.
That's true.
And it's really hard to separate myself from that.
And it's fun to watch him acknowledge what would be the silence.
Yeah. I can see.
And enjoy it.
I can see in his mind there was a crowd there. He was anticipating this crowd, and which reminds me again, this guy was very deliberate in how he approached this, because it does seem like jazz, but it's very methodical.
It's funny because he's, all I've ever heard about Norm is that I think he was the most widely read comedian, very widely read. Highly intelligent, I think a great, great mathematician. I mean, things that you would never think. He was talented in all these areas, and choosing, what's my diction? What's my word going to be? What's the right word here? And what's it exactly going to be? So you get this, because he seems reckless, but he's also ruthlessly planned everything out and thought it through. And they don't seem to go together, but with him, they do.
Yeah.
What was his, I'm sorry, Molly.
Oh, I was going to say before, I think in the last, 13, 14 years, he got, as you said, Conan, he was reading 4 or 5 books at a time, Russian literature. Mark Twain was his favorite author. He loved Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. but he got really into reading about God and Christianity.
Oh, yeah.
And really wanting to understand God.
Where he's headed.
Feeling maybe close to death. Or thinking about death, but really, really wanting to understand God.
I don't know how everyone else felt here, but Norm was sick for quite a while, and he got sicker, and I didn't know, and I talked to so many people who I was sure knew. I thought maybe I'm the only one that doesn't know, and so many people, he didn't want anybody to know.
I didn't know.
And so, being the self-absorbed person I am, I think a lot of us, we thought, is he mad at me? Is there something I did? Because we kept trying to get him to come back on, and we couldn't. He couldn't do it because I don't think he was up for it, and he didn't want to answer questions about maybe, his appearance or anything. But I remembered when he went, everybody in the community we all thought we were the only one that didn't know, and we were so upset that we didn't get a chance to tell him what he meant to us. And then I very quickly realized he would not have tolerated that. He didn't want it. He didn't want any of us to tell him.
He'd get gross.
He'd get very unhappy.
Treat him different or laugh at his jokes.
You reflect on experiences you had with him during the time he was ill and wondered if that had manifested itself because of the illness.
Right.
I'm curious as to what his process was, if you knew how he wrote.
My experience was so chaotic. I thought this guy is Evel Knievel. He's going to jump Snake River Canyon. He doesn't care. But he put a ton of work into what he was doing and worked it out a lot of the time. So I don't know what that process was. But, I mean, this really impressed me with how self-contained it is and how
he scribbled a lot of stuff down all the time. He was just like most comedians. He's constantly writing his jokes down. But
it's a lot of work. No laughs. A lot of work.
Yeah.
You said something that reminded me. I don't know what story he was telling me, but the story was in the beginning of the story. He's telling me he used to go to this Christian revival church, and he goes, I didn't really believe any of this stuff. I go, then why'd you go? And I love what he said. I don't even remember what he was talking about. He goes, because it made me feel good. And the last time I saw him was at the Comedy Store, and he was uncharacteristically emotional.
Yeah.
Like when we parted company, he was. And there's a picture of me and him and like the back of Chris Rock said, I put it in my special. That picture that's in the end of the closer was the last time that I saw him. Wow. And he stood there. He came up, he stood behind me. I looked, he looked up, and I realized he was posing for the picture in hindsight. Like a gift.
That's nice.
It was a very fitting goodbye.
That is so sweet, Dave.
Yeah.
Hey, man, what about when he was emotional and saying goodbye to you on the show?
At the time when, and like Conan suggests, I didn't know he was ill, so surprised. In thinking about that moment, he must have known a great deal about what his future was and how long it might have been. I always took it as an enormous compliment that my emotional situation had affected him.
Right.
But now, to be fair, this guy knew more than just I was leaving.
Well, he was crazy about you. I mean,
yeah,
absolutely.
That's very
I saw him on your show once, and he said, "I've seen more sunsets than I will ever see." He said that to you on his show. And his hair different. I'm sorry to interrupt, though.
No, that's okay. I probably cut him off and said, we got to get to Al Roker now. He probably was about to say something very profound, and I'm like, that's great, Norm. Al Roker's here. He came up 3 floors to be with us tonight, and he's got nothing. Al Roker.
I was saying, I saw him at the SNL 40th, and I didn't know he had cancer or anything, but I remember as soon as he saw me, he was like, I love you, Molly. Just he blurted out right away. And I think I was like, I just had a sense of like, I could feel that he had this kind of urgency to say exactly what was on his mind in the moment.
Right.
Because maybe he'll never have that moment again. And I was like, something's different with Norm.
The last time I saw him with any regularity was we all went on a tour to do just stand-up like,
The 3 of you guys.
I had a couple other guys.
Funny because we had a text chain of a bunch of us, and we would all fuck around.
Yeah.
And then one time he was arguing with Schneider about something, and about stand-up, and he goes, "I'm the best comic out of all of us," and everyone went, "Yeah."
That's true.
No one fought back. They go, "Okay."
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, it was
honestly.
fair.
Yeah.
And we go, sure. But he was, what the nice thing is we were flying around or on the bus or backstage. He would come in and do bits. He wanted to keep, I like that, when people are still funny and he's a good laugher. And that's always nice when a comic is a good laugher too, instead of just only going one way with it. They like to crack up with people. And that was a fucking blast. Did you wear a cowboy hat the whole time?
He bought a cowboy hat.
Norm all of a sudden
cowboy hat walking around.
Weird, yeah. Like,
He would do that thing.
He would sit.
He sometimes would sit.
We do a
Sometimes
Q&A.
he'd be late in the morning because we're all taking off, and I would just go, "Hey, no, man, we got to get to this place," and he'd give me a look, and then after he passed away, then I realized he was giving me a look like, "What the fuck do you want from me? I'm going through some shit, man." But he'd be like, "Yeah, all right,"
But never any deeper knowledge of it than that?
Never anything.
Yeah.
Never let you know anything. He did get emotional a lot, though. Like, on the whole tour, he would just all of a sudden get really teary-eyed and stuff, and he'd be like, "This is wonderful," like this, the tour itself, and like hanging out, and we'd have dinners and breakfasts and shit, and he was more... he'd just be so much fun to see. He had so much energy to hang.
The hard part about not telling people, which it would worry me a little bit, is I got slightly angry because during the thing, he would set up dinners with me and he would keep canceling. And I didn't know if it was a bit but it got frustrating because I go, if you're scared of a corona, just come over to the house and just be me and you. We'll sit across or whatever. Yeah, that's what I want. I like just a good night with Davey. And then he goes, and then that night I go, where? He goes, I can't. It's COVID. I go, I know, but we just talked about this. And then a week later, do you want to have dinner? And I go, biting a fucking hook. But I don't even know if it was I think he would maybe think about it and then he'd go, I don't feel good or something. But later, I was getting irritated because I'm like, you can come over. I didn't know what was going on, but if I did, of course, I'd go, whatever you want, I'll.
But I'm a little like that because I would love to have dinner with each of you, but it'll never happen.
We've all tried. We've all tried.
Survivors of the pandemic. This is your Captain Dave speaking. Please welcome Erica Badu.